Good morning everybody, Richard here and welcome back to another quick Lightroom tutorial. It's good to see you all and thank you for joining me. So today we are doing a quick tutorial on how to add a watermark to your photos when you export them from Lightroom, in case you want to put them on your website or add them online somewhere and people know who took that great shot. So really quick process, really simple to do. You can do an image, add an image to the watermark or text, and I'll show you how to do both and how to export them, and we're going to have a look now. So let's go over to Lightroom and see how we get on. Okay, so here we are in Lightroom and I'm going to use this one image here of Herbert Lake, I think, in Canada. Beautiful place if you're ever in the area. It's on the Icefields Parkway. Not important for this tutorial. Okay, so I've got the image highlighted. The first thing we need to do is to go into our export menu, and that will be File and Export. And you have a list of any export presets that you may have here. So we are going to use this test export one. And you can do all your settings here, your resizing and your naming and all that kind of thing. But we want to go all the way down to the end to where it says watermarking. So we are going to click on, assuming that you haven't got any set up, we are going to click on Edit Watermarks. And that will open up a screen like this. Now, like I said at the start, we have two options. You've got the text watermark, which you can just type in here and it appears down here, or you can add a graphic watermark. And let's just cancel that a second. You can add a graphic watermark, which will put maybe your logo in the bottom. So we're going to do the graphic one first. So we're just going to change to graphic, and then it gives you the option to choose the logo that you want. So we are going to pick a logo there that I've got ready, and that will just pop it into the corner down there. Now, text options we don't need to worry about at the moment. We're looking at watermark effects. So the first thing that you want to decide is how big do you want the watermark to be. You can drag the corner and make it as big as you like, or if you want to be a bit more precise, you can use the slider here, or just click on there and arrow up and down until you like the size of it. Once you've done that and you know where you want it, you have these 9 options here where you want to put it, and it's all pretty self-explanatory. Bottom right, bottom middle, bottom left, top, and along through the center of the image. So bottom right is quite a popular place to put it, but if you want it anywhere else, you can choose one of these other options. Okay. Then you can decide on how far you want it to come in from the image or how far you want it to go up from the image. And you use that using these inset sliders here. So let's say we want to get that up from the bottom just a little bit higher. Then we use the vertical and we can just slide it up, and you can obviously go as far as you want to. Normally about 3 or 4 is pretty good because it just gives it a little gap around there so that it's not hugging right in the corner of the image. And the last thing that you can do is you can affect the opacity. Sorry, not the last thing, but it affects the opacity. So you can see there that the logo is getting more opaque. The other thing you can do, if you wanted to say put things on a website and have them properly copyrighted, then you can use these 2 buttons here. So we're just going to reset the horizontal, just make that 0, and we're going to reset the vertical to make it 0, and we're going to click on fill. Now that makes it fill the image totally, which is obviously, you can't see the image now, but that's when you can then adjust the opacity. So if you were putting things up on a website to sell an image and you didn't want to, and you just wanted to protect it, then this is maybe a good one. You can have your name going through the middle or something like that, and this works for both text and graphic, but this is the graphic one. That's not what I use it for. I just use it for a little logo in the bottom right hand corner in case anyone wonders who took it. So we're going to reset everything here back to 0. No, we're not. We're going to put them on 3, aren't we? Okay, and we're going to make the opacity 100 again. So that's the logo there. So that's the graphic logo. Now the other option is the text logo. So there's nothing else to do. I'll show you how to save it in a second when you decided what logo you're going to go for. So once you've decided, so now we're going to do the text. So just down here you just type in whatever text you want, and that will appear, as you can see, in the bottom right hand corner. There are your usual text options here where you can change the font if you want something to match your branding, whether it's bold or regular, where it aligns within the little box, and the box is generally the same size as the writing, so I just leave it on center. And you can also change the color of the logo in case you had a whitish picture and you wanted it black, or vice versa. I am going to stick with white, and if you want to play around with the shadow behind the text you can. I tend to just have it as a nice solid logo, and this is where again you could use the same options at the bottom. You could have this logo wherever you want around the image, and you can make it as big as you want. Let's make that a little bit bigger there and move it up a tiny bit, and then again you can just sort of have it a little bit subtler so that you don't ruin the image, but it's still protected like that. But again, I tend to just have it bottom right hand corner, just so if someone sees it and they like it and they want to get in touch with you, they know where to go, or anything else you want to put in there. And you can type in, you know, all sorts of things down there, and it will appear in that text box. So that's the two options, text or graphic. Now saving the logo. You can come down here and you have these three options here. So you can, if you do something wrong, you can go back to what it was to start with if you had a preset there. If you've changed a watermark, so maybe you wanted to type something else in, then you can just click on update and it will update the current watermark with the new settings that you've just fiddled around with. But we are going to, for the purpose of this tutorial, we're going to save the current settings as a new preset. So we click on there and then we can call it, let's just call it test 1. Let's call it test 1 text. And then you create, and you'll see that is now one of your options. And then maybe you decided that you wanted the graphic one as well. So you can put the graphic back, put your logo back, do all the settings here, and then you can save that as a new preset, and you can call it test 1 logo. So now you have, depending on what you want to put on your image when you export it, you have test 1 logo, test 1 text, and you can choose whichever one you want. I'm going to go back to the text and I'm going to click on done. Once you've done everything you want to do up here, then another little quick tip here, 9 times out of 10 when you're exporting an image, you want to put it to Instagram or to your website or to somewhere else. To make it easier, I always have this show in Finder button option ticked, so that we are going to export this to my hard drive, and then you'll see when it's exported. Oh, there's already one there from when I was practicing before. Let's just overwrite that. And once it's exported, automatically open up the Finder window where it's saved. So you can see that has opened up there, and if you double click, we can see that there is the image with the watermark at the bottom. Maybe a little bit big for my liking, but you can just go back and adjust that. So there we go. So we're going to flick back to Lightroom. So that is it. Obviously, if you export 5 images, as it exports those 5 images, it will put a logo or a copyright or whatever you want to put, your website, on all 5 images, and it will open up the Finder window and show you all 5 images. And that is it. Really quite simple, but you don't need any other fancy programs to get your images watermarked. You can do it in Lightroom. You can do it when you'll be exporting it anyway. Why add another step to your workflow when you don't need to. That's it for today. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I hope you found that useful, and I thank you for checking out my videos. Please give me a thumbs up if you found this useful, or pop a comment down below if there's anything else you'd like to see or know about Lightroom. And if you do like what you see, please don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. That would be really useful, and there's going to be loads more of these videos. So thank you so much for stopping by. Have a great day. See you next time.